Welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast, strategies that help entrepreneurs build reputable and profitable brands. Here's your host, Henry Kaminski Jr.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Henry Kaminski here from UniqueDesignz.net with another Brand Doctor Podcast episode for you. And today's episode is going to be a fun one, guys. I go over this a lot inside of my Brand Accelerator program when we start to craft and develop brand identities for our clients. And it was in line with one of the questions that I got from one of my Facebook followers. And this question was from Jordan France. What's up, Jordan? Hope you're listening. I want to address this question because I know there's probably a lot of other people out there asking the same question. So here is the question. What does psychology behind color do for your brand? So color is one of those subconscious things that actually make or break sales, whether you know it or not. Studies show that at least 80% of people make decisions based on what the color of the product or service or the label or the packaging actually is. So I want to go over some ideas of what certain colors represent and how it's so important to, when you're choosing colors for your brand, that you're designing your brand around the color that is in line with your brand's values. So let me share with you some color choices. So for example, blue, the color blue represents trust. It represents dependability. Right? So think of the brands out there like Dell, AT&T, Lowe's, American Express, HP, Facebook. You know, these brands all revolve around the blue color, okay? Which subconsciously represent dependability and strength. So if your brand values those ideologies, then it's key to start developing packaging and branding that revolve around that color. Let's look at the color green. You know, there's a whole bunch of different representations of the color green and what the green signifies, but the overall, one of the big overall concepts of green is it conveys a healthy position. It conveys a position of growth and peacefulness. So let's look at Whole Foods. Let's look at Animal Planet, Tropicana, right? The orange juice, Hess, Starbucks, Monster Energy drink, BP oil, right? They all use this green color scheme. So clearly growth and health and peacefulness. Now, not all of these brands that I just mentioned represent all three characteristics or concepts or theories, but one of them does. And that's the key that I want you to take home. Let's look at a couple more colors. So purple. I'm a huge purple fan. I'm a creative. Purple represents creativity, loyalty, royalty, right? So look at the brands that signify this color. T-Mobile, Barbie, right? Welch's grape juice, Taco Bell. These are all brands that represent the creative side of their values. So the key here, Jordan, is, and the rest of you guys that are listening, is you want to pick colors that trigger emotions inside of your audience that align with the values of your brand. That is the key. That is the key. So if there's anything you take from this from today's episode, it's that right there. Okay? If the color scheme isn't matching up with your brand's values, there is going to be a subconscious disconnect between you and your audience. So make sure you're choosing colors that evoke emotion and that are aligned with your values and your target audience's values. Because when you make that emotional connection, that's when things start to happen. That's when you start to resonate with your audience. That's when you start connecting with them on a deeper level. A lot of entrepreneurs and business owners are just focusing on that surface level, and they're wondering why they're not being able to break through to their audience's emotions. All right? And that's where the magic happens. That's where the money's made. Okay? So we've got to make sure that, you understand that your product or service isn't being bought because it's the best. It's being bought because it means something to your target audience. And if you can trigger emotion through the color scheme and color psychology of your brand's identity, you're going to be winning. You're going to be winning on so many different levels. So take this one and start implementing it into your packaging. Maybe you need to rebrand your packaging because your values aren't lining up with the colors that you chose. Maybe you chose the colors for the wrong reasons, right? So you want to make sure that you are picking your color choices very wisely and understanding that there's a whole bunch of psychology that goes into colors that you may not know. And understand that, like I said before, 80% of choices are made specifically just on color alone. So it's very interesting. And I can talk about color schemes for hours, right? But I want you to get that. I want you to just get that piece for now. We can go into this deeper later on. But if you can understand this key piece, you will be able to elevate your brand status and really start to connect with your brand's start with your brand's values and connect them with your target audience's values, which is really going to set you apart from your competition. Because I'll be honest with you, there's so many brands out there that aren't paying attention to their audience's emotions, desires, needs, wants, values, and they're not aligning those with their brand, and that's where they're losing. So be a step ahead and start doing this for your brand. You're going to see a huge shift in the way your audience connects with you. So have an awesome day, guys. Again, if you haven't shared this podcast yet with a friend or colleague, I would so appreciate that you do. If you have questions, comments, leave them in the comments below, or write a review, or hit me up on social media on Instagram or Facebook and drop me some questions that you want me to address, and I will do that on future episodes. So have an awesome day, guys, and I will catch you on the next episode. Talk soon.
You've been listening to the Brand Doctor Podcast with Henry Kaminski Jr. To get your appointment with the doctor, visit Brand Audit at www.uniquedesigns.net.